So I was talking to some of my students about why the voice seems to get, internally, it seems smaller when you're singing correctly, or that somehow it doesn't have the same power internally. Not what other people hear, but what we perceive inside, like a thinner, whinier sometimes sound. It's very interesting. And the analogy that I've made, with my students lately, if you've ever driven an electric car, right? Let's say you're driving at 60 miles an hour on the highway. You're driving an electric car and it doesn't even seem like you're going that fast. When you're driving a regular gas car, there's a certain noise, a certain vibration, and when you're at 60 miles an hour, you get a sense of the speed of how things are moving, and that's coupled with the sound and the noise and the vibration. It's all one thing. When you drive an electric car, you're missing all the noise and the vibration, and even though you're seeing things move at the same speed, it just seems to be going slower. Like, am I going that fast? You look at the speedometer, it's going at 60. It just feels so slow. Why is that? Because the expectation of noise and vibration is not met. And so the brain's like, oh, it must be going slower. But you're seeing the same things visually, but it just seems slower. That's a very interesting phenomenon. And I think we experience the same thing as opera singers. When we're singing correctly, the actual pressure as you jump from, let's say, a middle voice note to the top, if you canti di posizione, if you sing on position and non di spinta, not with thrust, your jump to the high note feels like you didn't change pressure. It's almost like you pressed a button and the note changed pitch without you having to add more pressure. The baseline for the pressure being that middle voice note. So you're breathing in and you're in position, and that breath, it doesn't matter if you're singing a high C, if you're singing an A flat, if you're singing an E flat, that inhale is meant to set up the throat. It's not meant to thrust the voice. And so when you breathe in and then you make the jump, let's say from the baseline for the pressure and for the structure of the throat at the inhale is right here. This is very easy. You just jump. And it feels like, almost like your throat is going toward a falsetto. Why? Why does it feel fake? Why does it feel like it's suddenly less voice? Not because it is less volume, because it's not. And you can see that with the spectrograph, with, just measure the decibels. It's not. Or put your recorder out in the house and you'll see that it's not less. It's actually much more. It opens up tremendously up top. Why does it feel less? Because the brain's expectation is that jumping to the higher note is going to require more pressure and more strain. And when those two conditions are not met, that expectation is violated, the brain's like, that must be falsetto. That must be weak. That must be fake. Right? And it's not. It just does not feel like what you expect that it should. A practical example of this would be the high C from the Faust aria, Salut, where the tenor makes a jump from E flat to C. And the idea is that at the inhale, you create your structure. Your larynx goes down, it tilts, the palate's up, the tongue floating away from the larynx, not pressing down. And that's a physical structure. It's not a sound. It doesn't require pressure. It doesn't require force. It just requires you to intend to make those movements without pressure at the inhale. And then you keep your inhale energy so as to maintain that structure. And then you sing in that space. And when you make your jump from the E flat to the C, you don't increase the pressure, you maintain it equal and just change note instantly as though you were pressing a button and suddenly the pitch changed. So if you can make the jump instantly rather than doing a big old portamento, you'd be better off, because in the portamento, you give time for the brain to adjust the throat, to make more pressure, to put on weight. No, if you can do it instantly, you tell the brain it's the same. It's not changing. I'm going to make the note at the top just like it is in the middle in terms of pressure, in terms of energy going into the larynx. The sound will be very different. It'll be much more powerful. But the feeling internally is as though you didn't put any weight at all. It just emerged out of nowhere at the same energy. And so it feels like it actually got lighter. Not because it is lighter, simply because the expectation of weight and of strain is not there. It just is powerful without those. And so it's a little bit disorienting for the mind. So let's see. So I made the change and thought instant change, equal pressure, and then the note emerges. So it's a demonstration of how this concept of cantare di posizione works.